everybody, good evening and welcome to your very own BYJU'S 6th, 7th and 8th grade channel. I'm your teacher Aishwarya, your biology expert, and of course in our class today we are going to be looking at the top 20 important exam questions for biology for class 8. So I hope all of you are excited for today's class, and I hope that all of you have your notebooks and pens ready with you, and we are going to get started. Now, as you know, today's class will have a total of 20 questions, out of which the first 10 are going to be subjective, right? And the next 10 are going to be objective. Now, if it is objective, then we will be having MCQs and we will be doing it on Menti. But till I finish these 20 questions, please don't spam on the chat telling ma'am Menti, 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 Menti. So 10 questions we will wind up and then we will get started with Menti. So first we are going to do the subjective questions. And please make sure everybody that you like this video and you do not forget to subscribe. Now, if you are visiting this channel for the first time and this is the first video that you have stumbled upon and you're wondering why is this ma'am telling me to like and subscribe this video, let me tell you. The thing is, in our channel BYJU'S 6th, 7th and 8th grade, we make it a point that we give you quality education. And when we talk about quality, that means good quality questions, proper crystal clear explanations, so that by the end of this class today you will feel 100 times more confident than you were before you started this class, so that you will have that confidence to make sure that you do well in your examinations. And that is my, that is a guarantee that I will give you. So everybody, please make sure that you are ready with everything and you do not forget to like. We need to make sure that we have at least 200 likes on this video. That's what we want to aim for. We need to have at least 200 likes. So please make sure that you share this video with all of your friends and tell them to come for this, right? So everybody, a quick check. If my audio, my video and my screen and what I've been writing on the screen is visible to you, give me a quick thumbs up on the chat. And in the meanwhile, can we please increase the font size? Is it possible? Yes, if we can increase the font size of the chat. Yes, this is good to go. Very good, everybody. Very good. Everything is perfect. Lots of love to all of you. Again, like I said, what is our flow for today? We have a total of 20 questions that we are going to be looking at, out of which we have 10 subjective questions. That means that you have to write the answer for this. After which we will be having a Menti quiz. Okay. Now, what will we aim for? We will aim for half an hour, that in the next half an hour we will wind up subjective questions, and in the next half an hour after that we will do Menti. So it is going to be a total of a 1 hour class that we will have today. So please make sure that you are all ready. And yes, first is going to be subjective. Now here, of course, as we all know, when we talk about a milestone, right, we know that 10 subjective is a milestone that we need to reach. There is another milestone that we are on the path of, right? 1 lakh, 1 saath. So we know that BYJU'S 6 to 8 is a place where champions are made. And for those of you who have been regular to our class, you know that when we say champions, you are our champions. And the classes we take are going to be specific for all of you, right? We don't want to take classes that are not going to be helpful. Every class we take, whether it is academic classes, skill building classes, or even the fun-filled sessions where we may play charades with you or maybe treasure hunt, there is always a learning curve, right? So with every class you will be learning. So everybody, this is why we tell you to stay subscribed, because we have a lot more of interesting classes, academically relevant classes coming your way. So please make sure that you do not forget to subscribe. Ma'am, kya ye sab questions exam mein aayenge? Now the thing is, I cannot tell you what your teacher will be telling you, right? Or these are sure short questions. But I will tell you that these are sure short concepts from which you will get questions in your exam, right? So what is our intent with solving these questions? The fact that these kind of questions are most likely to come in the exam, and how to write your answer. That is what we will aim at. Yes? So without wasting any more time, we are going to get started, and here's our first question. Now this particular question is for 2 marks. Now I am sure that all of you here would have given, right? All of you here would have had a match the following question. Yes? How many of you have seen match the following questions? All of you will get this, right? Now the thing is how to go about it, right? How to go about this. Question number 1 says that match the agricultural tools in column A and with their use in column B. Now, let me tell you, Menti quiz is towards the end, but when you are doing this particular question, write the answer to me as how you will write in your exam. Because like I told you, right, it's very, very important. For those of you telling me, ma'am, this chapter is not coming, crop production and management is there in NCRT. So how will you match it? Yes, okay. Harsimran, you've given me the answer, but bacha, if you don't give me the options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, answer is incomplete. So that's why I'm saying this is on an examination point of view. How are you going to write it? That is what we need to look for. Yes? Okay, very good. Everybody saying, ma'am, 3, 1, 2, 4. See, like I told you, give me the answer. Aditya has given me the answer. Ankita has given it to me. Then I can see Beyond Horizon has given it. But Beyond Horizon, don't write this. On one side, it is Roman numerals. Write it in that manner. Okay, Gungun has given. RRR has given. Okay, Shreyanshi is giving it to me one by one. Very good. Avantika has also given it to me. Lalita, how will you write the answer? That is how you need to give. Very good, Purnima. Shelly. Yes, very good. Manjeet is giving it to me one by one. Very good, Harsimran. Yes, very good. Okay. Now that I've seen your answers, now we know, right? So first we are talking about sickle. Now we know that sickle is something which is used for harvesting, right? So we use this tool to cut closely. So what is the first one? 1 is going to be matched with option 3. So you can write it in this manner, right? So you can write 1 as sickle matched with 3, that is harvesting. See, note this. Remember this. Whatever is mentioned in the question is what you should write. If it is Roman numeral, don't make it 1. You will get lose marks there, right? Oh, I went out of the screen. You will lose marks there, right? So that is why it's very, very important. Now the next one that you see is hoe. Yes. So option number 2 is hoe. What do we use a hoe for? Yes. So we will use a hoe for plowing, right? So we will match it to 1 here. So you will write hoe, match it to plowing, that is 1. Why am I writing all this on screen? Simply because you should understand how to write the answers. Pankaj, I am not ignoring you. I would have missed your question. Next we have seed drill, right? Now seed drill that is there is matched with sowing. And last but not the least, you have option number 4, which is sprinkler, that you need to write and match it to option number 4, that is irrigation. Right? So whenever you are writing match the following answer, please make sure. Ma'am, in exam we will write numbering and answers both. See, it depends. I always prefer that you write the term. And I'll tell you why. Because if you write only this, no, chances of you making mistakes are higher. But why do I always recommend writing this? And that's something I did as a child, okay? I did it as a child because I will not make silly mistakes. How many of you have made silly mistakes while doing the match the following? I'm sure 1 or 2 of you would have definitely made mistakes, right? Some silly mistake, you wanted to write 1, but then you wanted to write 3. It happens. It happens with all of us. See, it's normal. I have also done it, right? It's not because you don't know it's not like you don't know the concept. It's only because at times when you match it, you know the answer, but you tend to make mistakes. That is why this is the safest way. Yes, Yashasvi, yes. Now, before I go into question number 2, I will tell once, and this is the last time I am telling for those of you who have just joined in. I think you've just joined in. But let me tell you that the code will come after 10 questions, right? So please make sure that you don't spam on the chat for the Menti code. It will come only after 10 questions. If you go ahead and spam, they may block you in the live chat, right? So you may not be able, you will get timed out. So pay attention to this. Very important. Now moving on to question number 2. Yes? Question number 2 here again, as you know, is for 3 to 4 marks. Okay? This is a 4-mark question. Now there are 2 subparts to this particular question. What differentiate between manure fertilizer? Option number B is what are weeds and how do we control them? Now I have a question for all of you. Now I'm sure that over time with your midterms and unit tests, you would have all given exams on crop production and management, right? How many of you have seen this difference between manure and fertilizer? How many of you have seen the differences between manure and fertilizer? Yes? Okay, very good. Exactly. So manure fertilizer difference is a most expected question from this chapter, right? Very, very important, okay? These questions will come, especially on difference between manure and fertilizer. Put a star mark in your textbook, write it down somewhere, right? Yes, that happens, Ankita. That does happen at times. Now moving on, I need you to tell me differences between manure and fertilizer. Can you all tell me the difference? Differences between manure fertilizer. Okay, one is most of you are telling me my manure is organic. This is inorganic. Very good. What else? Made of compost. Yes, very good. This is made up of compost. Or you can say inorganic substances like compost. Here, organic substances like compost, while in this case, they are made up of inorganic salts. Yes, very good. What else? Manure is very cheap. Okay, manure is cheap, or I could say manure is affordable, right? While on the other hand, if you see, we can see that this might be slightly expensive. Yes? Now what else? Manure is made, or manure increases fertility. Very good. So we see that manure increases fertility. While in this case, we see that this also improves fertility, right? But we know that excessive use of fertilizers can be harmful, right? So we see that in this case, we also see that this is eco-friendly. Yes? Very good. Manure is made in field, while on the other hand, it is made in factories. So here are the main points of difference. So we see that fertilizers are added, or we see that fertilizers are added to increase the fertility of the soil. And we see that these are mainly made of dead and decaying, made of dead and decaying plants and animals, right? Now we see that these are absorbed by plants quickly, while manure takes a little bit of time, does not add humus to the soil, while this does. This is costly, while it is relatively cost effective. Excessive use can be harmful, while this will not have any harm, right? So that is the first part. Now the second part of it is asking us, what are weeds? So if it is a 4-mark question, 2 marks will be for the first one, and you for 2 marks write about 2 points, right? 2 points to 3 points, and you can even give them some examples also. Very good. Yes, Pavni, that is eco-friendly. What are weeds? Very good, Archana. Weeds are undesirable crops that compete for other things, right? I would read that answer 1 minute. They will compete for, where is it? Yes, very good, very good. They compete for, nutrients, sunlight, water. Unwanted plants, yes, they are called as weed. So what can you write about weeds? You can say that weeds that are there are undesirable plants. That is the first thing that you need to write. So weeds are undesirable plants which compete with crops for nutrients, water, right, space. That is what we understand by it. Now, how do we get rid of it? Yes? Who's telling me, ma'am, you don't know the answer? I know the answer. Of what? That is the thing. Now, how do we get rid of weeds? We see that we get rid of weeds by manually using a kurpi, so by uprooting these weeds, by using weedicides like 2,4-D, right? So this is how we go about it. So this is what we understand as removal of weeds. Yes? Very good, Harsimran. Yes, very good. I can see a lot of you have given me the answer, right? Shelly has also given me the answer. I can see that Archana has also given me the answer. Okay. Asian drama and anime, please stop spamming in the chat. Yes? Very good. Lot of you have given me the answers to this. So well done. Example of weedicides, you have 2,4-D, which is an example of weedicides. Exactly. So when you're writing the first part, right, this can come for 2 marks. This can come for 4 marks, or this can come for 5 marks, right? Now, if it comes for 5 marks, you will get 3 marks for differences between the two, right? So, main thing when you're writing differences between manure and fertilizer, this is something I would always recommend. So, you have manure and you have fertilizer. So, for manure, start with the points that it is organic. See, I'm giving you broad points, okay? I'm not writing it as sentences that is there in the PDF. Yes? But at the same time, now when you're talking about organic and inorganic salts, you can add the point that these have a fixed, the amount of nutrients. amount of nutrients are not definite, right? That means we don't know how much nutrients are there in manure, but in fertilizer we see that there is a fixed number of nutrients. Yes? So in this case we see that this in the case of manure again we see that it is cost effective, and here we see that this can be expensive, right? Now we see that this is eco-friendly, and in this case we see that excessive use, right? Excessive use. If you say use of fertilizer is harmful, alone if you write half mark cut, okay? But when you see, when I say excessive use of fertilizer, then I know that it is okay. So this is very, very important, right? So everybody take a quick screenshot of this. If you want to remember difference between manure and fertilizer, take a screenshot. These are 4 points, easy points that you can always remember. It will help you out, okay? Yes, all right. Now, as you know, in this particular chapter, right? Let me tell you, in this particular class, we are going to be looking at questions from all the chapters. And doing easy, you can ask me your doubts, don't worry, okay? Yes, all right. Okay, very good. Let me tell you, Asian, drama, anime, whoever you are, please make sure that you stop spamming in the chat, right? Please stop spamming in the chat and ask me questions which are related to what I am teaching. Yes, what is 2,4-D? Exactly. It happens, but it's okay. No, it's okay. It's over. What's over is over, right? Ma'am, what is manure? Can you please tell me? Manure is nothing but it is a substance, right? Manure is something that we get from dead and decaying vegetable peels, right? Or from dead and decaying plants and animals. When they get broken down, we see that they'll be broken down into simpler forms or nutrients. And in this case, if you see, right, we see that this what gets formed after days of composting is what we call as manure. And this will be rich in a lot of nutrients. Ma'am, fertilizer is expensive, manure is not. Fertilizer can be stored, manure cannot. Yes, very good. Exactly. Now, the second part of it is where you will get 2 marks. 1 mark for writing definition of weed and the other one is how to get rid of it. Weedicide, stilling before crops, and of course can be removed using khurpi, right? This is khurpi. Alright, very good. Ma'am, can you tell me a definition of fertilizer? Anushka here. Fertilizers can be defined as inorganic salts that are produced in the factories which help with getting better yield of crops, or you can say that improve the soil fertility, right? Yes. All right. Ma'am, in second part, at least how many parts should we write to get rid of? See, if you want to get 2 marks, you'll have 1 mark here, right? And normally 2 ways or 3 ways. They'll be more specific. In this case, I gave you a little vague answer. But if you give about 2 to 3 points, it should be good. Good. You will get 2 marks. All right. Now moving on to question number 3. Yes. You have 2 different chapters. Okay. 2 different chapters from which you have a question. All right. Name 2 diseases which are caused by viruses. State a few characteristics of viruses. Now let me change few into 2 characteristics of viruses. What is metamorphosis? Give examples. 5 marks. Okay. Now how will the marks be distributed here? Now you see that half mark each. You will get 1 mark for letting and identifying diseases. Now 2 marks here will come for writing 2 characteristics. Right? 1 mark for telling what is metamorphosis. 1 mark for examples. Very easy question. Okay. 2 viral diseases. Everybody's saying, ma'am, coronavirus. Is coronavirus a disease or is it COVID-19? Coronavirus, Omicron and all are not viral diseases. Yes, okay. I will take your doubts. See, after 5 questions, I'll do a doubt board so that I can take all of your doubts. Don't worry, okay? Yes. Polio, hepatitis, very good. COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, cold, very good. Yes, most of you have got the answer to this. So hepatitis A, chickenpox, polio are all examples. So now you write any 2, you will get 1 mark for this. Now the second part of this particular question is asking us to write down characteristics, right? So write down any 2 characteristics of viruses. Now what are the 2 characteristics? Can you tell me? Yes, what are the 2 characteristics? For those of you who are very new to my class, welcome. Welcome to my class. They are either living or they're neither living or non-living. Yes, very good. So we see that when you say outside the host, let's say outside the host cell, viruses are neither living or non-living, right? So outside the host cell, they are neither living or non-living. Yes? Now what else? Very good. We see that they replicate. So we can see that they reproduce or they replicate only within the host body, right? Or you can say only within the host cell. Now these are two characteristics that you can write about. Yes? Ma'am, what are allergies? Allergies are nothing but they are, what do you say, these hypersensitive reactions that happen because the immune system is reacting to it. And allergies normally happen to non-pathogenic or which are not pathogens, right? They could be like dust or, pollen, which are not really pathogenic in nature. That means in most cases they will not cause any disease. But in people who have a hypersensitive immune system, they will cause allergies. They can't be treated by antibiotics. Very good. They can be observed only using electron microscope. Are viruses the smallest organisms? No. Type of mycoplasma is, right? Okay. All right. Ma'am, what is fertilizer? Ramesh, fertilizers are nothing but they are inorganic salts, right? So we see that they are inorganic salts which are used for improving soil fertility. Okay? All right, very good. How to see viruses? We already discussed. No, using electron microscope. They may contain either DNA or RNA. Akanksha 24D is we decide. Yes? Ma'am, can viruses live in any condition? See, when virus outside the host cell is living or non-living, right? So outside the host cell, if it is living or non-living, it doesn't really matter. It can survive. But when it finds ideal conditions, when it finds its host cell, it will be able to go. Green manure is normally produced using, plant. And when we use plants or we use vegetable peels, normally any plant-based ones, when we use as compost, it is green manure. Yes, bacteriophage is a virus that affects bacteria. It's a phage, right? Okay, yes, it is. Bacteriophage is. All right, ma'am, as some microbes are present in the atmosphere, why do they not fall in the ground due to gravity? They are so lightweight that they are floating, right? Okay, all right. Yes, okay. So I hope all of you have taken a screenshot to this particular question, right? Ma'am, can they survive outside the host body? They cannot. Why do some people have allergies to nuts and jams? For the same reason, right? Why is it that they have that? Why are they allergic? Because we see that the immune system, right? Or we see that the defense system of the body has become hypersensitive. That means other than normal, like in our case, in these people it is extra sensitive to a point that if anything foreign enters into the body, they will start reacting, right? And they will cause an allergic reaction. Now some of you are asking me, I think Harsimran asked me, ma'am, difference between infection and an allergy, right? Now infection can always be understood as an invasion, right? So if anything that does not belong to your body invades into it, invades into us, right? That is an infection. Now that is why we see that, see now, not always does an infection become a disease, right? Now disease is when the whole body's functioning has been hampered. But infection, if is anything, crosses, right? So that is what we mean by an infection. Now on the other hand, when we talk about allergies, we see that allergies are hypersensitive, right? So we see that they are hypersensitive reactions where our immune system is like, anything that enters, they will go and they will attack it, right? So that is what we mean by it. So I hope now you are clear. What is a full form of DNA? Deoxy, right? So this is deoxyribonucleic acid, right? What is RNA? It is ribonucleic acid. So I hope all of you are clear. Yes, all of you are clear with this. Now one more doubt I will take, right? That is on what is the difference between, wait, that is a very good question. Yes, okay. Antibiotics and antibodies. antibiotics, antibodies. Now I want you all to take a picture of what I am about to write because most of you will have this doubt, right? So what are antibiotics? Antibiotics are nothing but they are chemical substances, right? So we see that these are chemical substances which are produced by other microorganisms, okay? So we see that these are produced by other microorganisms which have the ability to kill or they have the ability to inhibit the growth of disease causing pathogens, I will say. Mainly in our case it is bacteria, right? Now on the other hand, when we talk about antibodies, now first and foremost we see that these are Y-shaped proteins, right? Or we can see that these are proteins which are produced in our body. Understand where they are produced. It is in our body which will fight against pathogens that will enter our body. So everybody take a quick screenshot of this, otherwise all of you will forget this, okay? Main place where you make questions. See this particular thing that I have written, right? That you will not be able to get in your PDF, okay? So I hope all of you are clear. What are dioecious plants? Dioecious plants are basically plants wherein we see, oh it's here? Okay, so dioecious plants are basically plants wherein we see that the male and female reproductive organs are found in two separate cells, right? Ramesh, answer is on the screen. For you spamming, antibiotics, antibodies is already there on the screen. When are antibodies produced? Antibodies are produced when a pathogen enters into a body, right? Yes. Ma'am, if there is no dead... Oh, I missed these questions. 1 minute. I will check it on my phone. Okay. Yes, all right. Ma'am, if there is no dead antibody, is there a possibility of producing antibiotic? See, that's not the way. Antibodies are always produced in the body. It is not like antibody will suddenly die and that's why we need antibiotics. At times the antibodies or the pathogens are so strong that antibodies alone are not enough, which is why we need reinforcement of antibiotics. Yes, I will give you the notes, but what I've written on screen, you will have to take a screenshot. Yes? Are the viruses different from microorganisms? They are. Yes? Ma'am, is it necessary that a virus contains DNA or RNA? Why? Because the genetic material, they need a genetic material, right? So the reason why they're not completely living is because the genetic material, or rather what I would say is outside the host body, they are not functioning. But at the same time, right, we see that when they enter the host cell, their genetic material will integrate with ours and then they will reproduce, okay? Now, before I lose track, I am still in question number 2. Okay, so I'll take the doubts here and there. Now moving on to the next one which says, what is metamorphosis? Give examples. Yes? Avantika, you can rewind the part and watch it. Okay? Yes, I've taken the doubts for a very long time. Now let's focus on questions. What do we mean by it? Because they are tiny, Pavneet. They are tiny. Very good. Transformation of larva into adult due to sudden series of changes. Very good. Yes. Yes, Shreya, they are like that. I will tell you, Swayam, in just a bit. Yes, the process wherein larva through drastic changes. So your keyword for metamorphosis should be the term drastic, right? So we see that metamorphosis is nothing but the transformation, right? So we see that it is the transformation from larva to an adult through drastic changes, okay? Now, if the word drastic is not there in your definition, half mark gone, okay? Then and there, I will only cut half mark, all right? Now, what are some examples? Very quickly in the chat. What are some examples? Yes? Frog, butterfly, silk moth, they are all examples of the same, right? Wherein we see that it is undergoing drastic changes. So if you have 5 marks, you will have 3 marks for the first part of the answer, wherein we have already discussed the examples. And of course, here we have discussed the 2 characteristics. Then I will give you 2 marks for writing the definition. 1 mark for definition and 1 mark for writing the examples, right? So very simple and easy. Moving on to question number 4. I am still in the 4th question. Yes, and our plan was to finish off all of this in half an hour. So let's pace it up. I've already given you the answer to this. Again, 5-mark question. What are antibiotics? What are the precautions that must be taken while consuming it? State a few uses of microorganisms, and what does the given image show? So here, as you can see, you have 3 marks here. You will have about 1 mark and 1 mark each. Or actually, I would put this as 2, 1 and 1, right? Totally, you will get a total of 5 marks, okay? Swayam, I will explain transplantation to you when I take the next doubt board. Very good, Swayam. Very good. Yes. All right. Okay. First part of it. Okay. First part. Ma'am, maths is wrong. Oh, I forgot to mark 2. I just forgot to change it. Yes, yes. Now I have changed it. Everybody's waiting. When is Aishwarya ma'am going to make a mistake? We'll catch her now. Medicines through which bad bacteria can be killed. Chemical substances produced by living organisms that kill or stop the growth of disease causing. Partially Divyangana. Partially. Okay. Yes, Swayam. Okay. Released by a microorganism to kill or inhibit the growth. Yes, Palak. Other disease causing. Right? That is what we mean by disease causing. So you need to add when you are adding that part. So when you talk about when we talk about antibiotics, right, we see that they are chemical substances which are obtained from microorganisms that either kill or inhibit the growth of other disease causing microbes. Otherwise, if they're inhibiting the growth of some other microbes, or actually you can write other microbes, let it be, right? They inhibit the growth of other microbes. That is fine. All right. Okay. Now you need to give some examples, right? So examples here are of course tetracycline, erythromycin, and then you have penicillin. But we're talking about precautions. Yes. What are the precautions that we must take? Let's have a look. Okay. We see that antibiotics must be taken only in the prescription of a doctor. Then we see that don't take antibiotics when they are not needed. Very good. Simple precautions that are there, right? So in this case, what should we write about? We need to make sure that antibiotics should be only consumed by a doctor. Don't take it when not needed. Yes. And of course, one main important thing I hope all of you follow is to complete the course of the antibiotics, right? So it's important that you complete the course of antibiotics. Do not take too much of it. Don't take too less of it, right? So that is something that we need to understand. Now the next part of it is to state a few uses of microorganisms. Yes, a few uses of microorganisms. Guys, if you spam for Menti, Menti will not come soon. But the less you spam for Menti, Menti will come faster. So that is my logic to all of you, right? Very simple. Menti will come as soon as I finish 10 questions. Okay, I can see fermentation, very good. Baking, curd formation, commercial use, okay. Yes. Bread making, all right. That is just one function, right? So in food industry, we have a function, medical we have. So try to write one each, right? So in food industry, we know that there is curd formation and baking, right? Then in medicine industry, it is used for vaccines and it is used for antibiotics, right? And then of course, when we talk about waste management, we know that they are necessary for decomposition. So if you write curd formation, yes, curd formation and everything is necessary. But see, fermentation, that is there as we know, right? Fermentation, you'll have to specify. Okay, very good. That's amazing, Divyanga. Yes, nitrogen cycle. Okay. What will happen if we take antibiotics without any... See, in your body also, if you take antibiotics without having any disease, in your body also you have some healthy microbes, right? Good microbes which are there. Now, if you take antibiotics without necessary, if you see, right, what will happen? You will take all these antibiotics and the good microbes will get harmed. which is why you should only take microbes, or you should only take antibiotics when you are not keeping well and there are harmful bacteria. Otherwise, too much of it will affect our body. So now quickly moving on to the last part of the question, that is to identify this. Someone was telling me, ma'am, this looks like gram or something like that, but this is nothing but the root nodules of leguminous plants. And we know that root nodules of the leguminous plants have a bacteria which is called as rhizobium, which plays a key role in nitrogen fixation, right? So this plays a key role in nitrogen fixation. So when you are writing the answer, 5 marks you will get if you write it properly, right? So make sure that you start with the definition. Yes, then the precautions that are there, try to underline it, underline the keywords that are there. Yes, and then you can write down some brief, and lastly, you can write about what the image suggests. You will make sure that if you write it in this format, you will get 5 marks. Yes? Okay, moving on to question number 5. We have 5 more questions and we will switch to Menti. So the question number 5 here is a 3-mark question. Very simple and easy. A is, what are endemic species, right? Can a forest regenerate naturally in a short period of time? No, please don't use this against me. It was a slip of tongue. Yes, we should take antibiotics when needed, right? Okay, question number 5. Everybody, what are endemic species? 1 mark here, 2 marks here. Species that are found in a specific area, okay. Endemic species are those species of plants and animals exclusively found in a particular area. Very good. Yes, okay. Species that are located off a particular region. Very good. Yes, that's the correct answer. So what do we mean by endemic species? They are plant and animal species. Try to specify that, right? So we see that these are plant and animal species which are exclusively found in a given area. That is what we mean by endemic species. Now when we talk about the next part, they are asking us, can a forest regenerate naturally in a short period of time? So this is a yes or no answer. And then you need to justify, right? Then you need to justify here. Okay. What is species? Species are nothing but a group of organisms that have the ability to reproduce and produce fertile offsprings, right? Ma'am, pronunciation is wrong. Of what? Endemic species. Okay, all right. Anyway, see, the spelling matters more. Yes or no, I'm getting a mix of answers. But see, mainly when we talk about forest, right? So we see that in a short period of time, in a forest, what do we observe? We see that maybe the grass and maybe some short plants that are there, right? So we see that short plants like herbs, we see that they will be able to regenerate organically, right? So we see that they will be able to regenerate organically. But a forest is primarily made up of trees, right? And we know that trees take a lot of time to grow. Yes, so they may take a lot of time. Now this process of allowing trees to grow, right? Allowing trees to grow naturally in a piece of land which earlier was a forest is called as reforestation, or is it called as afforestation? Yes. What is it? Reforestation or afforestation? Ma'am, it is a non-renewable source of energy. Okay, to an extent, it takes time to grow. Ma'am, but won't trees, wait, I have a good question. Ma'am, but won't trees grow if there is no deforestation? See, again, it's the life cycle of an organism, right? If a tree grows, there's a point after which the trees may fall and die. And then we know that a new tree will grow. So that is there, right? Very good. In this case, it is reforestation, right? Planting new trees is what we call as afforestation. So for the first one, you will get 1 mark where we're talking about endemic species. So you have to write plant and animal, right? And for the second one, you need to write that in a short period of time, we will not find trees. But we know that in the case of reforestation, for trees to naturally grow, it takes a long period of time, right? Now the thing is, someone was asking me, what is reforestation? Reforestation is when you allow the natural vegetation, right? That means I allow the trees, the plants, whatever it may be, grass, shrub, whatever it is there, right? All of that to take some time. It will take a while to grow naturally. Afforestation is when I have decided that, okay, there is this one piece of land, I shall go and I shall plant trees. So when I go and I plant new trees, right? So I am planting new trees. That is what I mean by it, okay? And everybody, I think Harsimran was asking me, yeah, your answer was correct. No problem, okay? So now with this, we're done with 5 questions. And before I go ahead, everybody, please, it's a quick reminder for the new BYJU'S National Scholastic and Personal Test, where it's an absolutely free test, right? Wherein you know that the link is for registration is there in the description box. It's just that this particular test that is there is a offline exam, not an online one. And we see that it is happening across BYJU'S tuition centers. And of course, with this, as you know, you will get a proper personality report, a 15-page detailed report that will help you out. So do register. Now, Swayam, you were asking me, ma'am, what is transplantation, right? So what do we understand by transplant? That means that I take it up from one place and I put it in another place. So normally with certain crops, what happens is that in order to ensure that the crops that are there in the field grow successfully, they will separately take a place, or they will separately take like a small pit or something like that, where they will sow the seeds, right? And there may be out of 4 seeds, maybe some 3 seeds germinated. Then once they germinate and they grow to a certain extent, they will take it and then they will transfer it to the field. So this is what we mean by transplantation. All right. So now I'm going to pick up the pace a little more. All right. So now moving on to question number 6. Yes. Question number 6, everybody, on your screen. Right. Let's have a look. Why should we save resources? What is red data book? Now this right here is going to be for 3 marks. Yes. Ma'am, if nobody pours seeds, how will trees grow? So it is because of the natural vegetation, right? So there could be some seeds which had already fallen, right? So that way it will be there. Okay. Sana, you will be getting it. I will tell the team, right? I will be telling the team. Question number 6. You know how many questions are there for 10. Okay. We should save resources because upcoming, generation needs them for the development of our country. Very good, right? So why should we save, or why is there a need for conservation of resources, right? Why should we conserve it? Because resources are important. Okay. All right, very good, right? So we know that resources play a key role in our life, and if they are not there, then we know that we will not be able to survive, right? So we see that they satisfy our main needs, right? So for example, when we talk about fuel or when we talk about water, right? Especially when we talk about fuel, we know that this is necessary, right? Which is why we see that it is necessary that we don't deplete it. Yes? Now at the same time, we need to conserve it for our future generations, right? So we would require it for our future generations, which is why there is a need to conserve resources and use them judiciously. Now moving on to the next one, which is the red data book, right? So when we talk about the red data book, we know that this is a data book wherein we see that it has all the information of the species that are there on the planet, right? So in this case, we see that the data it has record of all the endangered plants, all the endangered animal, which are vulnerable, which are near threatened, and which are not evaluated as well. So this is the answer. You will have 3 marks. So 2 marks for this particular question, and you will have 1 mark. You will have a total of 3 out of 3 marks. Yes? Now, everybody, are we all clear so far? Yes? Are we clear? Are we good to go? Very good, Shelly. Very good. Yes. Very good, Fatima. Very good. Okay. Now moving on to the next one, right? So I have 3 more questions. Now I leave it up to all of you. See, like I said, and I told you in the beginning of the class, right? And I've been very clear about this. You are not in your final exam, in your annual exam, is your teacher going to come and tell you, okay, this is your mentee code. You join the mentee, we will play mentee. Yes? Are you going to have this for your final exam? Or are you going to be writing the answer to this? You will be writing the answer to this, right? Which is why I have been spending some time in teaching you how to write the answer, right? Nobody is going to come and tell you to play mentee quiz on the final exam day. Neither is it going to happen for your unit test, which is why during the subjective thing, during subjective questions, because of a long period of time, I have been spending time here. No, I'm not angry. Oh my God, please don't take it in any other way. I'm just helping you all out, right? I want you to understand, because what happens if some of you may spam on the chat, the others may lose focus, right? That's why I'm explaining this to you. Yes? Which is why I tell you, and I tell your seniors the same thing also, even in 9 and 10, right? I tell them the same thing. As much as you love and enjoy playing mentee, we bring mentee to you in almost every class because we know how much you enjoy it. But you need to spend some time in understanding how to write, right? So you need to understand how to go about it and write it. Okay, that's why I'm spending time here. Not mentee may also we will spend time, but this is very, very important, right? Okay, no problem. Can we just have an eye on how we are moderating the chat a little? We'll just, because I think some of them are doubts. So let that be. Yeah, okay. Yes, all right. So now I need focus. Okay, if you give me focus, we'll wind this up fast. Okay. Now moving on to question number 7. All right, question number 7 is a diagram-based question, right? So here, as you know, this is going to be a 3-mark question wherein you will have 2 marks for your diagram and you will have 1 mark to write the function, right? Now, for those of you who don't understand the font, don't worry, because at the end of the day, you will get the PDF. You can join the Telegram channel, right? So now, it's very simple. I will show, if you all know how to draw the neuron diagram, because chances of the neuron diagram coming are very high, right? Which is why make sure that you learn how to draw the diagram. But in the meanwhile, can you all tell me what is the function of the nerve cell? Yes, Aditya is like, ma'am, this came in my unit test. Exactly. What is the role? Exactly. See, neurons, see, there are certain diagrams, certain questions which I tell you are short, right? So that is something that I tell you at all times. Make a note of this in your textbook. There are chances of this question coming very high. Yes, very good. They carry messages from the body to the brain and vice versa. Yes, they carry messages. Very good. Hello, Suju. Hello. Transform messages. It is easy. Very good. Right? So what is the function? They help in transmission of nerve impulse. What is nerve? It is nothing but neuron, right? So it is a type of cell that makes up the nervous system. Yes? So this makes up the nervous system. So now quickly to show you how this looks, we see that this right here is the neuron, right? Okay. And from here you see that there are these structures called as dendrites, right? So imagine a tree, right? So you imagine a tree and you draw a cell in the center and then you block it like this, draw the myelin sheath, and last but not the least, make sure that you cover it out. Yes? So now when you are labeling it, this will be dendrite, right? If labeling is there for you, else you can leave it as it is, right? But again, nonetheless, I am labeling it for you. This is cyton, this is axon, and this right here is axon terminal. Yes? All right. Now moving on, when you're writing it, function of nerve cell is to transmit messages to the brain, and it also takes messages away from the brain, right? So this is the answer to it. Now moving on. Yes, now moving on to question number 8. All right, question number 8 again, as you see, is a 4-mark question. So this is a very tricky question, okay? And chances of this particular question are also very high. Cells are the basic structural and functional units of living organisms. Explain briefly. 2 marks for this. State the function of chromosomes in a cell. Where are they located? 2 marks for this as well, right? very quickly tell me, which is this particular cells are the basic structural and functional units, right? So how will you tell that cell is the basic structural unit of a living organism? Very easy way in which you will be able to write the answer. Yes. No, I am not sleepy. I have way too much energy in me at this point. Okay, somebody is telling me, ma'am, cells make up tissue, tissue make up gland, gland makes, okay, that is level of organization, fine. Provides, yes, because they provide structure and support to the organisms, because tissue organ, okay. Alright, they perform similar functions, they are the smallest unit. Ma'am, cells are different shapes and size. Smallest cell in human body. Actually, I'm not able to remember now. Chromosomes store genetic material, okay, because they contain DNA, fine. Okay. Alright, I'm getting some answers, but more or less, right? You guys are close enough. They make up tissues, okay. So one is of course to say that they make up, right? So in this case, right, we know that there are different cells. And we know that when we say that a cell makes up is the basic structural unit, we know that if a plant has a certain shape, right? So if you think about a leaf, if a plant has a certain shape, it is because of all the cells that make it up. And we know that in our case, if we have an organ or if we have an organ system, we know that all of this is possible because of a cell, right? So it is the basic building unit. Yes, and you can give an example of any organism and you will be able to, justify it. Yes. Now moving on, the next part of the question is asking us to state the function of chromosome in the cell. Where are they located? One mark each you will get for this, right? Yes. Ma'am, how are cells the structural unit? See, you take a leaf, right? You take a leaf. Now, if you take a leaf, the leaf has this particular shape, it has this particular structure, all of this is there. But how is it that this is a leaf? Why is it there? It is because that many cells have come up together. Now, if I zoom into it and I focus and I see what is the smallest thing that is making up my leaf, then I see that it is the cell, right? So for any organism, any part of the body wherein we observe that there is a certain structure, it is because of the cell. And you can take any example and you can elaborate this. You can take the example of liver, you can take the example of brain, you can take any example, right? So this will definitely help you out. Now moving on, what is the function, right? So everybody, what is the function? Okay, yes, Anshika, I will remember you. Chromosomes of the cell which have the genetic material are used for reproduction in animals, as it is the 23rd pair. Okay, Himanshi has given me an answer, but Himanshi, I would like to correct you. There are 23 pairs of chromosomes. It is not that there is the 23rd pair, right? Yes. Guys, why are we overcomplicating function of chromosome? What is the primary role of chromosome? They have genetic material in them and help in heredity, yes. Or, see, when you say, right, I think I saw an answer which I would like to correct. Let me just go down. I think somebody told me that, ma'am, it is for transporting the genetic material. That is not why it is, I don't remember who told me this. Somebody told me that it is for transporting the genetic material. Now see, the genetic material that is there is present inside the cell, right? But the thing is, the genetic material is so much that it needs to be condensed. So it is not for transporting the genetic material because the chromosomes in itself is the genetic material. Yes? So if in this case, if you see, it consists of thread-like structures called as chromosomes, and these chromosomes are observed only when the cell divides, right? And we see that normally they help in transmission of, or these are responsible for transmitting characters from parent to offspring. They are present in the nucleus, not the nucleolus, right? So we see that they are present in the nucleus. Okay, see, chromosomes, chromatin, DNA are not there in CBSE, but I'll teach you anyway. DNA is your genetic material, okay? This is your genetic material per se. So this is a long helical structure that is there. Now, if you take out all the DNA from the cell, we see that there will be 2-3 meters of DNA, right? Which is why the DNA will get converted or it will be condensed to form chromatin. Alright, so all this DNA along with some proteins, it will become into thread-like structures. Okay, so this one DNA in itself will be highly coiled and eventually we see that it will form like these thread-like structures. Okay, this is napping of how coiled it will be. It will be full like one thread. Okay, it will be like a thread. Now the thing is, when the cell divides, it will form chromosome. So when the cell divides, we see that it will form chromosome. And these chromosomes are rod-shaped structures which are further. So when this chromatin will undergo further condensation, it will form chromosomes. Primary role, yes. Very good, very good. Ma'am, is it possible that living organisms are formed without tissue? No, it is not possible. Not possible. Okay? So now this is the answer to it. I hope all of you are making a note of this, right? So you will get 2 marks for this. I'm sorry, I think I wrote 3 marks there. So 1 mark and 2 marks here easily. Yes? So now moving on to question number 9. Last 2 questions and then fatafat we will wind up Menti. By 9:30 we will be done. Prepare a table having 2 columns depicting endocrine glands and the hormones which are secreted by them. Yes, Poonam, you can definitely ask me your doubt. If I have missed anything, you can, if I've missed your doubt earlier, I'm sorry, but you can send it. Archana's like, ma'am, thyroid gland, thyroxine. Yes, we did this very recently and chances of this question coming are also very high. Okay, hi Hitesh, hello. Thyroid, thyroxine, pituitary gland, growth hormone, pancreas, insulin. Very good. I need to have 6 in total. So far I have got 3. Adrenal gland, adrenaline. Okay. Yes, Manju, you are correct. What else? 2 more are missing. Yes, Icha Patel has got it. Thymus, thymosin and all, if it is not in NCRT, it's okay. But yes, it's there, correct. Very good. Ovary, estrogen and testis, testosterone. Right? So we know that pituitary gland is the master gland which produces the growth hormone. We have the thyroid gland which is producing thyroxine, adrenal gland which produces adrenaline, pancreas which produces insulin, testis which produces testosterone, ovary which produces estrogen. Okay. Why do frogs have to follow metamorphosis? It's because of their body organization, right? So first and foremost, when you look at evolution of organisms, that's how they have evolved, right? And that's how they have gone to be. That's their part of life cycle per se. Yes, so that's how they reproduce. That is one thing. Very good, very good. Ma'am, ovaries, they are not heterocrine. See, to an extent you can say, but mainly when you talk about mixed glands, it's pancreas, right? Microorganisms, more or less the same. It's just different ways. So 3 marks for writing this. Okay? Pituitary, growth hormone, adrenal, adrenaline, thyroid, all of this. But one thing, spellings. Okay? If you have spelling mistake, I will cut half mark. Alright? As a teacher, if you give me your paper, I will cut half mark. So be careful. Now this is the last question. Final question of subjective, then we will do Menti. Okay? Study the diagram below and label the parts A, B, C. Write the function. This is easily going to be 4 marks. I will give you 4 marks. Right? Okay. It's fine. I know it happens. I come mentally prepared for all of you to ask me doubts. I read up so much before class because I need to make sure that I know the answers to whatever you ask me. Right? So it's okay to ask doubts, but I always tell you don't spam in the chat. Right? A, B, C. What is B? B, everybody's telling is fallopian tube. Very good. Correct. It is fallopian tube. B is oviduct. C is uterus. Correct. So oviduct, fallopian tube, you will get marks. Okay, write any one of it. And A is ovary. Very good. Now they are asking us what is the function of A and C. What is the function of A? Everybody tell me what is the function of the ovary? A is ovary. Correct. Ma'am, done. Very good. Ovum produces ovum. Yes. Produces ovum, or I will say it produces, yeah, it's fine. It produces or it releases ovum. I would say that is a better word. It releases ovum. I'll tell you why. See, because when you talk about ovaries, right? Ovaries have a fixed, earlier eggs are of course produced, when a baby girl is in the mother's womb, the number of eggs that are produced at a certain stage of development is fixed, right? And then when the baby girl is born and undergoes childhood and then reaches adolescence, the number of eggs that are there are actually fixed. And then it undergoes maturation and release. So release of egg is kind of correct, right? Then you have uterus. Yes, uterus is where the embryo gets embedded, right? So we know that at the end of the day, when development of the young one takes place, it is inside the uterus, right? Not zygote development, I write embryo development, okay? Embryo is what you should be writing, because zygote formation is taking place in the fallopian tube, after which it will become morula, blastula and all those things, and you have embryo, right? Yes, so write embryo. So this is how we will write the answer, and of course with this you will get 3 marks. And everybody, we are done, right? So we are done with our 10 questions. Now it's time for Menti. But before I hit or I show you the Menti code, right? Everybody, I hope all of you have liked this video. Now, I need you all to ask me, right? I need you all to tell me. Did you like these questions? Did you feel that these questions were easy, but a lot of them came from some part where you felt like, ma'am, I know somewhere this has come, right? So somewhere it would have come in your examination. It would have come, right? Exactly. So this is why subjective questions are very important. They are super duper important. Yes. All right. Very good, Manju. Very good. So how many likes do we have on the video? 1 or 2 likes. Amazing. Yes. So everybody go to www.menti.com. Type in the code 2991412. Right? 10 questions. Rapid fire mein karenge. Jaldi, jaldi. Yes. Can I switch the screen? Okay. Quickly everyone go to www.menti.com. Type in the code 2991412. Yes. Hum amazing hai. I'm all good. All right, everyone. All right. Yes, I'm going to get started. I will wait 1 more minute. When it is 9:17, I'm going to get started. Yes? Ma'am, ये YouTube पे नहीं होगा. नहीं, ये YouTube पे तो नहीं होगा. This will be happening on menti.com. Abhi 10 questions that are there, right? Yes, we can have 10 more questions. Yes, 10 questions are going to be here. I'm on this slide so that I'll get started very quickly. I can see some of you are here already on the live. Everyone, quickly make sure that you go join. Once I see around 50 kids, I'm going to get started. 49, 50. Sarjit is like, ma'am, wait, joining. This is what you've been asking for all day. All the best. You will do well. Very proud of all of you, right? I hope that when I was telling you about why subjective questions are important, I hope none of you felt bad because some of you thought I was angry. I can never get angry with my kids, right? I can never be angry with all of you. So please don't get me wrong in any way. But nonetheless, I'm happy that all of you were patient. All of you took a good learning today. And I hope all of you are excited. It is rapid fire. Now I've explained all concepts to you. It is rapid fire. Jaldi, we will wind this up. Okay? So our aim is 9:30 tak we will wind it. So getting started with question number 1 on your screen now. The place meant for conservation of biodiversity in its natural habitat are where? Zoological garden, botanical garden, is it wildlife sanctuary or national park? Oh, is it? I'm so sorry, I've started already, but it's okay. 45 seconds, I think you will be able to wind up. You'll be able to join back. Everyone, quickly, I think for all these questions you have aram se, you have a lot of time. Team is like, we have to give good amount of time for us children to learn and understand, right? Very good. The correct answer here is option C, which says 3 and 4. Because see, what is 3? 3 is national park. You're national park and wildlife sanctuary, I think, right? So in this case, if you think about it, first two was botanical garden and zoological park, which are artificial, right? But here we know that in natural habitat, it's normally a wildlife sanctuary, and it's a wildlife sanctuary, or it could be a national park. So correct answer is option C. Moving on to question number 2, everybody, quickly on your screens. Arey, no, I hope you guys didn't feel bad. Ma'am, time to write name. Take your time. Voice is not clear. I feel like at this point I am shouting. But okay, you can refresh one, Shivam. Leaderboard after 5 questions. Yes? I hope now you have all written your name. I'm going to get started. Question number 2. Okay? Migratory birds fly far away during a particular period of time during the year due to, it's not yeah, but it's year, due to the reason. What is the reason? Unavailability of food, extreme weather conditions, overcrowding, or lack of nesting areas. What is the correct answer? Oh, it's okay. I can see a lot of you experienced misclicks, and some of you were like, Ma'am, I wanted to click A, but I wanted to click B, but I clicked A, right? Yes, I do understand there are a lot of glitches, but let's muscle through it, right? So as we know, normally due to lack of food and due to extreme climate, birds migrate from one place to another. The Siberian crane is an example of the same. Now moving on to question number 3, everyone. Question number 3 will be on your screens now. Yes? Okay. Now let's have a look. What is the seed drill used for? We've already discussed this, so I want all of you to get the answer for this. Harvesting, sowing, manuring, or cleaning the seed? Sneha's like, ma'am, misclick. Oh no. It's okay, it happens. This is a very simple question. Everyone here should be getting the answer to this. All 74 of you who are here. Very good, Anshika. Anshika's like, I will not tell the answer. Yes, very proud of all of you. Very proud. We know that the seed drill is a modern tool which is used for sowing, right? Yes, fun with learners. That is what we understand as menstruation. Now with this, moving on to question number 4. Everybody rapid fire. I'll pace it up. Question number 4 on your screen now. What is the process of loosening of the soil known as? Options are tilling, harvesting, spraying, weeding. Very easy. Yes, Shakuntala, you can join now. Code is 2991412. Yes? So you can go ahead and you can join. Very good, everybody. Less than 10 seconds. Very proud of all of you. We know that we normally call it as tilling, or the process of loosening is what we call as tilling, right? So well done. Now moving on to question number 5. Yes, question number 5 on your screens very quickly. So yes, everyone, this is going to be a rapid fire. We're pacing it up and we've already discussed all the important concepts. So don't worry, right? So we are going to be having question number 5 on your screen now. Okay, which disease is caused by a protozoa? Please star mark this particular question because as you know, this question can come in your exam also. Polio, tuberculosis, malaria, typhoid. Very simple. Yes, very good. Seeing a lot of correct answers. Seeing a lot of proud, tough, quick timing. Yes. Very good. The correct answer is malaria. See, polio is caused by a virus. Tuberculosis is caused by bacteria. Typhoid again is caused by bacteria. Leaving us with malaria, which is caused by plasmodium. Right? Yes, ma'am, diseases are a piece of cake now. Exactly. It's very simple. So now let's have a look at the first leaderboard. So let's see what the first leaderboard says. Okay, so I can see Arohi is on top and is the fastest. Then I can see Ansh is there. Then I can see Hitesh, Katghar, OP. Okay. Nehal, Isha, Himanshi, Gitanjali, Aditya Rai, Simran and Gungun. And I can see I have people who are in 13th, 18th, 19th place, 59th place. Very good. Very, very proud of all of you for doing such an amazing job. Yes, now keep it up. We have 6 more minutes. How many people think that, ma'am, in next 6 minutes we will finish our Menti quiz? How many of you want full rapid fire ki next 16 minutes may we will finish this quiz? How many of you feel this way? Okay, so are we ready for another rapid fire? Are we excited? If we are excited, then I always tell you that you have to hit the like button, right? You need to make sure that you go ahead, you like this video. Easily 150 likes we'll be able to get right now. So go ahead and like the video fatafat so that my team can tell me that, you know what? We have hit the like button, we've hit 150 likes. Are we reaching closer to 120? No way, we're not reaching 120 also. Then jaldi you should hit that like button so that we reach closer to 120 before we have the next leaderboard, right? So with this, in the next 5 minutes, let's have a look at the next 5 questions. 1 minute for each question. Question number 6, everyone. I hope all of you are here on Menti and your question on your screen now. Okay. Where are chromosomes found? We have already dealt with this particular question. You should be getting the answer. Nucleus, cytoplasm, is it endoplasmic reticulum or vacuole? You have 30 seconds for this. Quickly. I know, I've given you half the answers for this Menti also. Technically, you all should be doing very well. Very good, everyone. Very good. The correct answer is nucleus, where the chromosomes are found. Now moving on to the next one. Question number 7, everybody. Question number 7 on your screens now. Okay. Animals exhibiting external fertilization produce numerous gametes. Justify with reason. Now, as you can see, you have 4 reasons on your screen from which you need to identify the correct answer. So now, as you know, we have time for this. 30 seconds, right? 3 more questions. Yes, I told you during the subjective questions. Very good, you remember. Why do animals wherein we see that they exhibit external fertilization? See, now then that means I should not see any mistakes. Even then, if this question is coming for the 50th time also, there are some questions or some of them who are having some doubts. So those who exhibit external fertilization, where the fusion of gametes happens outside the body, we see that they produce a large number of gametes so that they can ensure a better chances at fertilization, right? So that is what we mean by this. Now moving on to question number 8. Everyone, question number 8, quickly, it will be there on your screen now. All right. The development of a caterpillar into an adult butterfly is called as what? Growth, senescence, metamorphosis, reproduction. Quickly. This is also repetitive. Then see, I forget if it's come before. I just taught you this now. 3 more seconds. Very good. This is a drastic transformation from larva to adult, which is known as metamorphosis. Now moving on to question number 9. Question number 9, everybody, on your screens. Jaldi, jaldi, jaldi. Going to question number 9. Let's have a look. Okay. Lysosomes in the cell work to do what? Okay, do they get rid of waste material? Do they provide proteins to the cell? Do they store all the information, or do they transport materials? What is the role of lysosomes, right? Hello Ashim, hello. 10 more seconds. Krish, yes, for Menti you're a little bit late, bacha, because we are almost done with Menti. Okay, very good, and the correct answer is option A. What are lysosomes? They are the suicide bags of the cell which are responsible for getting rid of unwanted material. Which provides proteins? Definitely not the lysosome. Storing all information, genetic material. Transporting materials is your ER, and also it is your Golgi that plays a role. Now moving on to the last question. Question number 10, everyone, on your screens. And I told you by 9:30 we'll be done with it. Bira wants to practice crop rotation in his field. Suggest a kharif crop and a rabi crop which will replenish his field with nitrogen. Yes? Wheat and soybean, wheat and maize, wheat and linseed, or wheat and cotton. He wants a kharif and a rabi crop. Which is this? Yes, correct answer, right? So as you all know, we see here that we are talking about a kharif crop and a rabi crop which helps with crop rotation. So here your additional point that you need to identify is to figure out a rabi crop which is leguminous, right? Which is why wheat and soybean is the correct answer. Wheat and maize. Maize is a kharif crop, but it's not a leguminous plant which will help with it, right? It will not help with nitrogen. Neither is mustard mustard, linseed and everything else is incorrect, right? In this case, if you think about it, paddy and cotton also, you think about it, we see that paddy, cotton are both kharif. Ma'am, 9th class question. No, this is 8th class only. You have both these concepts. Just that we twisted it and we asked you. So with this, at 9:30, we are done with our rapid fire. And as you can see, we have the leaderboard. And let's see what the leaderboard has to say. So I can see Isha is on top. Well done, Isha, with 9,467 points. Then I can see Ansh, Army, Harsimran, who says, thank you so much, ma'am. How sweet. Then I can see Aditya Rai, Gungun. Then I can see Himanshi. Shelly is the fastest, even though Shelly is maybe not at the top 5. But nonetheless, Shelly is the fastest. Then I can see Shreyansh and Adiba. And I can see a lot of you have progressed. 81 to 53, 12th rank, 30th rank. Very proud of all of you, right? Very, very proud. Yes? So as you know, we know that quizzes are a way of defining you guys. Quizzes are a way of understanding, right? How we can be fast. And I hope all of you have registered for Quizmaster also. It's happening on the 28th. Link is there in the description box. Yes? And with this, of course, I'll be signing off. And as you know, we've got you covered, right? So now we're going to be having more of these classes. And I know today's class went a little longer than expected. It went on for quite some time, maybe 1 hour and 15 minutes. Yes, but nonetheless, I'm very happy that all of you stayed through till the very end. And I hope today's class helped you to ace your exams that are going to be coming up. And as you know, we have Crash Course series coming up for your annual exams. So if you have not subscribed yet, now is the time to subscribe because it's starting from next week. 23rd of Jan onwards, we will be doing Crash Course where you are going to be having a lot of chapter summaries. Don't worry, we'll be having a lot of, question answer practice. We'll be doing mock tests. There are going to be a lot of things for all of you. So please make sure that all of you stay subscribed. And as you know, how do you show us your love? Let me know in the comment section below if you like this class and you want more such classes. Subscribe to our channel for more such information. And with this, I'll be signing off and I will see you all soon. Up until then, bye everybody. Take care and good night.